Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you have a nice weekend. And today we are on the first week of May 2023. My name is Imani Honeypour. I'm talking to you from here, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. As you can see behind me, there is Ethiopian Patriots Day. Ethiopian Patriots Day is what we're going to be talking about most of this time. But also we're going to be looking into a Pan-African calendar, which I hope a lot of you guys you are aware of Pan-African calendar. But before I go there, let me just give you something a little bit, and then I will come back. We can discuss starting with Dr. Umar Johnson.
Independently financed to fight for black people. And the reason why most of our black elected officials are damn near useless is 99% Democratic Party plantation slaves, and they are financed by the white corporations. Be independently financed to fight for black people. And the reason why most of our black elected officials are damn near useless is 99% of them are Democrats. They do whatever the Democratic Party tells them to do. They are Democratic Party plantation slaves, and they are financed by the white corporation of Miss Wisconsin. And once you take the white man's money, you got to do the white man's bidding. So I do not vote for black people who are not independent candidates. Because if you are not an independent candidate, you don't have an independent mind, you don't have an independent plan, and you ain't got no damn independent courage. So you better be free. Only if you are independent are you free to help black people. But 99% of the time, we are always voting for people who are controlled by other people. And we wonder why we get nothing from them. If Racine wants to change, Racine black community got to come together. Milwaukee black community got to come together. And then Racine and Milwaukee got to come together on a state level, put our money together. Because if you say you want to run for governor, you want to run for mayor, our first question to you, if we want you, how much money do you need to beat the incumbent? You say, I need $2 million to beat him for radio, for newspapers, for t-shirts, for street teams, for campaign offices. Give me $2 million, I think I can beat him. That means what? We got to sacrifice our weed money. We got to sacrifice our chicken money. We got to sacrifice our Air Jordan money. We got to sacrifice our restaurant money. And we got to put that money together and finance her. So once she wins, she don't owe nobody nothing but us. Until we do it that way, we'll never get anywhere.
As we're on the topic talking about the stand that the black community should be taking, what do you say about local black organizations, churches, or the NAACP? What should these organizations or structures should be doing to step up and help our black children outside of the classroom?
As far as the National Association for the Advancement of Certain Light-Skinned Mixed-Race Colored People, I would say...
Okay. Back is enough. That one is enough. I hope you guys you hear what he just said. So talking about the National of Mixed Color Association, whoever it is, he say he's talking about NWNCP, whoever it is, the organization I talked before. But anyways, this is not my topic today. If you want, maybe you can look on my preview videos or programs. I have talked about those organizations. It's the same thing he's talking about. Just they are financed by white people, but they come in the face of black people. So anyways, leave that alone. Let me leave that alone. I just want to talk to you, my fellow who's listening to me, about African Liberation Day. No African Liberation Day, African Ethiopian Patriots Day. But before I go there, I want to talk to you about Pan-African calendar. So what do we have on the month of May? The month of May, we have first Mr. Bob Marley from He was a Jamaican musician, which I don't even think I need to really go over that because a lot of you definitely know about Bob Marley. So Bob Marley, he was a Jamaican. His born name was Robert Nesta Bob Marley, born in February 6, 1945, and he died on May 11, 1981. So he was still young, actually. He was a Jamaican singer, musician, and songwriter, one of the pioneers of reggae music. His musical career was marked by a fusion of elements of reggae, ska, rocksteady, as well as a distinctive vocal and songwriter style. Bob Marley's contribution to the music increased the visual of Jamaican music worldwide. That's true, not only Jamaican but also globally and worldwide, and made him a global figure in popular culture. Over the course of his career, Marley became known as a Blast Safari icon on the infusion of his music with a sense of spirituality. So anyways, so you guys know about Bob Marley. We have play some of his music every time, like Buffalo Soldier. Then there is Africa Unite, One Love. All of those are Bob Marley music. So Bob Marley died on May 11, 1981 in Florida. That's where he died. But there was something that was really interested in his biography. I was checking again. Is his mother. His mother, Bob Marley's mother, was called Cedella Malcolm. So I was like, huh? Cedella Malcolm. So maybe Bob Marley and Malcolm X, they may have some relationship since they hold, based on his mother, they may hold the same, maybe slave owner or something like that. Who knows? But I also want to find his father, but I could not. So I don't know exactly, but I know somehow. Someone said that his father was actually a white man. I don't know exactly, but his mother, she was. Actually, that's true. His father was white man. His name is Nova Sinclair. Yeah, so Bob Marley's father was white, but you guys, you already know that black people, whatever happened to us, it's just if you have baby born from either mother or father is black, so the baby is black. So we win always. So anyways, so that is pretty much it's about Bob Marley. The music, his music is pretty much like the whole life, pretty much about black people is based on his music. So that is about Bob Marley. So also on this month we have, let me see, we have on this month, who do we have there? Oh yeah, we have someone also. Let me stop sharing this and add something there. We have another professor here. Where was that? No. So I just want to show you guys the picture of Bob Marley, maybe because you may want to remember, or maybe you don't know who is Bob Marley. Maybe you can see that's Bob Marley pictures actually. So as I was saying that his father was a white person, so you can see that he has some, in some areas, his father, some light skin there. I don't know how you call it, but yeah. So his father was a white guy, and his mother is actually, her name is Sidera Markham. So which is a little more kind of little, like as I say, I was thinking maybe these people they may be related, but anyway, so this picture you can see on screen, those are pictures of his father, his biological father, and so yeah, so that was his father according to what we have, and I think maybe there is some degree, maybe you can see there is some relationship there. You can see there is they are related in some degree, some areas, not that much, but he's there. Yeah, so that is the father of Bob Marley. So now let me start sharing this, and I want to share something different with you guys about some other person who is. What was his name? Yeah, this one here, this guy here. So this Dr. Ivan Godson Van Stan was a Guyana, so no Guinea, Guyana. I want you guys to listen to this careful so that you don't say I say something that I did not say. So he was a Guyanese, well-renowned guy when it comes to the history of black people in general. I think he's still relevant even today when it comes to black people history. So Dr. Ivan Gadston Van Setma, oh my goodness, I'm butchering his name, was a British African studies at Rutgers University in the United States. So he was best known of his Olmec alternative origin of speculation of a blend of pre-Columbia contact theory. So pretty much he's the writer of the book. I hope you have read this book. It's called They Come Before Us. So They Come Before Us, the name of the book. You possibly have saw this book somewhere, where he explained that there is no way that before Columbia, where the people he discovered America, which is not true, because you cannot discover a place where there's already people. Before he even come to the place, which is America continent, they were already black people, and there have been so many evidence of that. And for him, he just proved that by showing that, like this such a head you are watching, that this was African, this was made by African people, obviously, because there is no other way you can make something like this. But not only that, even the pyramids that are found everywhere, and we know the pyramids originate from Africa. So he said that, in conclusion, that black people were in American continent before white people, and that is one of the things he's well known on. But also, he was a writer, as I just said, the book he wrote, this one here, They Came Before Us, is a major contribution of book that a lot of people think of or talk about. Or there is another one he said, Egypt Revisited. Egypt Revisited is this book here, also is another common book that he wrote. And then The Golden Age of the Moors. This book also, I suggest you should read this book as well, because it will teach you exactly how black people, who are black people in general, and how black people came from Israel whole way to Africa, and then whole way to some remain in Africa, and other ones were taken for slavery. So that this book, I think, is a good one to read, The Golden Age of Moors. He wrote that in 1991. And then there is African presence in Europe. So this one here is a book also, you can check that out. So pretty much he wrote a lot of books, but most of them they are interested in about Africans. So that is Mr. Stern. On when we talk about Pan-African Academy, and I think we have one more person I would like to discuss, but I will go over those in next week as well. But Stem was born in where? Let me see. Stem was born in Guyana, as I said, and he was born in Guyana on January 26, 1935, and he died in 2009. So he recently died, actually, not long ago. And he was able to publish a lot of books, and he was also called in many debates. I have listened to a lot of his lectures. He's very, very good when it comes to a lot of Pan-Africanism things. So I appreciate him, by the way, for bringing a lot of information out there so that we can actually study about them. So, but also beside that, there is also in May we have Malcolm X in the US on 19th of May. He died by assassination. I think those are the only three people we have on the month of May, but I will double check on our Pan-African calendar. So now I think I'm gonna start with Pan-African stuff, and so that we can go on with our program. I don't know if I have my special guest today. Haven't show up yet, but so anyhow, so we're gonna continue with our program today. We're gonna be focusing on Ethiopian Patriots Day, which was celebrated on Ethiopian Patriots Day was celebrated this week. Was in fact was yesterday here in Ethiopia. So yesterday it was Friday, so I don't know, here we're already on Sunday because we are midnight, so it's celebrated on Friday. And Ethiopian Patriots Day. So it's always on the 5th of May. That's Ethiopian Patriots Day. So now, what is Ethiopian Patriots Day? Let me stop sharing this and then add this here so you can see something there. Ethiopian Patriots Day. So Ethiopian Patriots Day, what is in Ethiopian Patriots Day? So Ethiopian Patriots Day is the day when the Italians were defeated again, second time, with Mussolini on the different battles, and that time he was defeated by citizens, actually, Ethiopian people, and then it became completely clear that them colonizers, they were not going to be able to overcome Ethiopia. So that is what they call Ethiopian Patriots Day. And if you look on, I think I need to read you some couple articles on what the readers have to say on this past Friday, 2 days ago, when it comes to Ethiopian Patriots Day. Let me see. Yeah, how are you? Are you there?
Yeah, you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. I was talking the whole time and I did not remember I mute my microphone. So
Yeah, I don't know how this new system is working.
yeah, it's working very well, no problem. So anyways, the survival of Patriots residents in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and senior government officials include Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. President Sahle-Work Zewde attended the celebration. The Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed congratulated Ethiopians on the occasions of the 82nd anniversary of Patriots Victory Day. In a statement, the Prime Minister has extended his congratulations message to the Ethiopians over the anniversary of Patriots Victory Day by saying that the day commemorates the victory now in independence of Ethiopia patriots over the fascism Italian force. Prime Minister say patriotism is a sacrifice as a sacrifice paid the well-being of a nation through truth and faith. So that is what the president of Ethiopia and the prime minister of Ethiopia they have to say when it comes to the liberation or the Ethiopian Patriot Victory Day. Now, I don't want to dwell on this because a lot of you guys know this already, but I have to show you something. Always, Ethiopians celebrate this day, they always forget about. And that is what I want to show you about, or this is what I want to talk to you about. So, what is that I want to say is that something. Let me show you the video little quickly, and then I will come back so we can discuss. Let me see, which one is that? Yeah, here, let me add something here. So there is a video here. There's a video here I found to be interested, and when I was watching on TVs here on the celebration, I didn't found anything like that relating to the celebration. So this video it was taken in 1935. Is about, as you can see, the hold on. I don't know if you can see that. Let me put that on screen. Yeah, it's on screen already. So yeah, so let me play this. Then I'll be back in a second.
I can't see the video.
You cannot see?
No.
Can you? Oh, okay.
I hear the audio, but not the video.
Okay.
What's your age, Miss Anderson? 37. 37. What is your weight? 150 pounds. Height?
5 foot. So, anyways, so this is the video of African American people registering in Harlem, New York, to come to fight Italians on 1935. When the Italian decided that they want to come back to try one more time to see if they can take over Ethiopia, and then African American people or black people or African who are born in America, that's the most of word I use often, they decided that they're gonna come and give a hand to Ethiopia, and for that reason, they start to register in New York to come to join their fellow Ethiopian to fight Italians, and that is one of the things that I found
They don't acknowledge. They don't not acknowledge that it was an international effort that the
I think I need it's my opinion though. I think I need to go ahead and maybe talk to people in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs because I have a lot of friends there, and
Sure.
because
Yeah,
I think it's absolutely not fair to have these people not recognizing this effort of
sure.
this effort of people to come to
Good
uh,
observation.
because why one is that I was thinking myself let's say in 1930
Hold
1930
on. My brother, please. You got me so excited just now. I must interrupt you. Just please allow me to interrupt you.
no problem, go ahead.
The same way you observed that the efforts from outside of Ethiopia that was not recognized, efforts by the Ethiopians or blacks in Harlem or blacks in America, you know, there were also blacks in the Caribbean who organized, who united and galvanized to go. There was blacks in Europe that also organized, and there were blacks all over the continent also. But just as you recognize that there was not an acknowledgement for those efforts, did you notice any talk about the leader of Ethiopia during that time? Was there any talk about the leader of
uh,
Ethiopia, who was the ruler, the leader, or the head of state for Ethiopia? Did you notice
well
any talk? Basically, did they say anything about Haile Selassie?
no, they did not. There was a couple programs I was able to watch because I don't speak local languages. Maybe there is, but what I can listen to is those ones that are done in English. Maybe there was, I don't know. But
No, I
uh,
mean by the Ethiopians at home, by the Ethiopian government, the prime minister and the Ethiopian TV. Was there any talk about Haile Selassie, you know, and on this Patriots Day, 82nd anniversary of Patriots Day celebration?
not on the website. I just read the information. I think you hear me. That was not mentioned. But even the programs I was able to see, they say that Haile Selassie was not allowed. He was already outside of the country. But they mentioned a lot of other people, by the way. There is a couple programs I was able to watch. But they actually mentioned a lot of citizens who were able to fight, which I believe it was a good idea and it was a good move. But no, I didn't hear much about Haile Selassie either. But for me, obviously, I don't really focus on Haile Selassie, but I focus on the life of someone or some people who decided to leave America in that time. First of all, there is no airplane that can fly very well to come to Ethiopia. That is number one. That was the first problem. Number two, if you're really leaving from America to come to help Ethiopia at that time, it means you are signing to die because you don't speak the language. You when you go to fight, at least you have a means of communication on your side. That means you're gonna be able to survive. But people who come from America, they come to fight on the side of Ethiopian people, and Ethiopian people they speak the language that you don't speak. You as an American, you don't know the weather, you don't know anything at all, and then you come to fight Italian. Italian that time has been mobilized very well. They had so many airplanes to the bombs and so on. So anyone who were registered, as you saw the line, I don't know if you were able to see the video, but people who are watching, they see that it was a completely and absolutely like you signing to die. That was
Not
it.
necessarily. Not necessarily. I don't agree with that.
how would you think, like, for instance, if it was today, do you think people will decide to come to fight for any country?
Today is different. We're going to talk about what you said in 1935 when
Uh-huh.
people were signing up from abroad. And I say I don't agree that they were coming to die. As a matter of fact, many well-trained, skilled Black people from America were involved in those efforts. As a matter of fact, um, Tuskegee Airmen, they were the Black aviators from the United States. They were the Tuskegee aviators. They were enlisted by Haile Selassie himself to go and train. As a matter of fact, those were some of the pioneers of the Ethiopian Air Force,
Yeah,
was the
I
Black
mean,
American fighter aviators. So,
I don't.
they weren't going to die. They had a lot to offer, more than just
Yeah,
their blood. But even if they just offer their blood, the cost of freedom is very high, which is often death.
yeah, I'm not saying that when they come, they will die. No, but in mind, like put it for yourself, like thinking, okay, I'm going to this country. I never been there. I don't know much about it, and I'm gonna face these Italians, and maybe even gonna be more target compared to the rest because obviously that was the whole thing. So anyone who will go and register is pretty much like maybe I may come back home, I may not. So it was more something like that. So I'm not saying that everyone who came died, but it was the high risk. That's why I'm saying like it was it's not high risk. I can't find the word, but it's pretty much like the decision is very very high cost to register to come to fight for Ethiopia because one, the transportation is a problem, and the environment and the language and all of those things to come to fight. It was a very big sacrifice these people were doing actually to register. As you can see on my screen, that people are now registering to come Ethiopian volunteer registration here. So people are registered to come to pretty much, maybe they may come back home, they may not. So, but in all of that, the only thing that I did not like, as I just said, is that this information is not even recognized, and I was shocked that some people on TV who are doing English programs, they don't even mention this, because that shows when the African American Black people, or even the Jamaicans, you say, or Trinidad or any other country, Haiti, or ever come to fight for any other country. No, they never do that. So that shows that they love so much Ethiopia. And for that reason, I think that people should always, anytime there's celebration, I know there were not that many who were able to make it. I think it was maybe one or two who were able to make it to Ethiopia. But the registration have started. You can see that. So they were a lot of willing to come to fight, even though they did not make it, a lot of them did not make it to Ethiopia, but they were already willing to do so. So I think, in my opinion, that we should, when we celebrate that, we should always recognize people who were able to, to show that they are able to do so, and they are willing to sacrifice their life, as I said. Obviously, if you come to Ethiopia at that time, they were, maybe nobody knows. Maybe you may come back home or you may not. Who knows? But people were willing to register, as you saw. But not only that, there is also another person. Let me put that on the screen as well, so maybe those who are watching, they can see who were not either recognized either. Let me see. I think is this gentleman here.
What was the significance?
He was the one who was campaigning for the whole movement of people to come from America to come to help Ethiopia. Let me see this one here.
My question is this, though: what was the significance of the registration? What was the significance? Why was it so important to those people, to whom you say have never even been to Ethiopia, don't know the language, and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah? What was the significance of them registering to go there?
Because they believe that if Ethiopia is conquered, I believe that it was gonna be pretty much the last country in Africa, because Ethiopia have already had the culture and things that people, even today, by the way, this is not only that time, even today, there's a culture, there's things that everyone believes that we have to preserve. That is number one. Number two, it was the symbol, like Ethiopia is the symbol of independence in Africa. Of course, me personally, I don't totally agree with that. I agree with that in half, because I believe that the symbol of liberation of Black people is Haiti as well. Haiti is also the symbol of liberation of Black people, because it's the first country to be free and to free her own people as Black people. So that was the reason why a lot of Black people, they were able to be involved and trying to come to fight Italians in Ethiopia. But also the way Mussolini was mobilizing all European people to come to control Ethiopia, that also was the reason why people of African descendants, anywhere they were, as you mentioned, in Europe, in the Caribbean countries, they were like, oh no, these people, they did this to us, and now they want to do this to Ethiopia too. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, you were pretty close. Yeah, you were pretty
Go
close.
ahead.
Mhm.
Go ahead. You can add
No,
something more, because I don't know much history, by
no
the
need,
way.
no need to expound on that. You were pretty, accurate, and
Okay, I'm
you
almost
know.
there.
Mm.
Yeah, so now the other person, so as I was saying, they were people maybe attempted to come, but there is one who actually was able to make it, Mr. John Robinson. John Robinson, I think he were able to come to Ethiopia actually, and he did a mission. So it's not something that people want to register and didn't do it. Some people did come to Ethiopia and fight, but there is one guy here who people never recognize him. His name is Melaku.
Like a Melaku
Melaku,
Bayan.
yeah, Melaku Bayan. Even also on the media here, or maybe even on talking on celebration, they don't talk about him. Okay, I don't know him at
Of
all,
course
me
they don't.
personally.
Of course they don't. Of course they don't. Be-
So
Because to talk about him, you would have to talk about Haile Selassie, and the Ethiopian government is guilty of trying to erase history
I don't know.
or
I don't
not
know.
recognize history, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
because
So
of
uh-huh.
in-house personal political reasons, but they cannot. It's impossible to talk about Ethiopian Patriots Day, the war, without talking about Haile Selassie, without talking about Dr. Malaku Bayan. It's impossible to, but they're trying to do it.
Yeah. So, anyways, and also why you leaving out Black American as well?
Well, when you talk about Malaku Bayan, you have to talk about the Black Americans because he organized the Black Americans.
Okay. Can you expand more on that? Because me personally, I don't have complete information or news about this. Can you
I'll
explain
do my
what?
best.
Oshi.
Ishi. I'll do my best. So, as you stated, Black Americans or Blacks in America were organizing to register to, you know, aid Ethiopia in the war effort on many different fronts. Some actually by going to Ethiopia to fight, to offer skills, their skills and knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and expertise on what they had. Some were offering monetary payments, monies, whatever they could do to aid the Ethiopian war effort. Okay? Some of those organizations were fraudulent, taking the money, not sending it to Ethiopia, and whatever, doing with that, they weren't legitimate. So, this man whose photo you have up, Dr. Malikubayan, he was the cousin of Haile Selassie. He studied abroad. He graduated from Howard University in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Okay? He was one of the physicians for Haile Selassie, one of his personal physicians and his cousins. Haile Selassie made him the emissary to Black America.
Okay.
And to organize what we know as the organization as the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated in New York in 1937. And that would be the official organization used to aid Ethiopia and the war effort for Ethiopians at home and Ethiopians abroad. Dr. Malikubayan organized the Constitution for the Ethiopian World Federation and the Black peoples to organize headquarters in New York, to organize the Black people in the West to aid Ethiopia in the war effort.
So, what happened to him, Dr. Malaku? How did he...
I don't know what became of Dr. Malikubayan.
Okay. So, was he able to accomplish the help he was looking for to get Black people, American Black people to come to Ethiopia to help for the fighting and some donations or contribution? Was he able to accomplish that? Or?
Oh, yes, for sure. And as a matter of fact, the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated became a successful organization with many notable members. The Black opera singer, I believe her name was Mamie Richardson. She became the international organizer for the Ethiopian World Federation. And, it was so successful that out in showing gratitude to this effort to the Black people outside of Ethiopia, I like to call them Ethiopians abroad, right? Land was granted in Shashimani in Ethiopia. 500 hectares of land was granted to the Ethiopian World Federation as a sign of gratitude to the effort that the Blacks in America and the Blacks in the West or outside of Ethiopia offered to Ethiopia during the war. So the Ethiopian Federation was granted land, 500 hectares of land, and more to be granted, right? And this land is important because this is what many of the Rastafarians who were so interested in repatriating or returning back to Ethiopia sing. You'll hear a lot about it in their songs. You're in Ethiopia now. I'm sure you've run into a lot of Rastafarians there that have come there to visit Shashimani, to move to Shashimani and live in Shashimani to take advantage of this land grant.
There is, I have saw a lot of them. Around here there is. They have actually a lot of organizations and clubs and communities. I do. I know few of them, not that many, but I see them around. Yes, and I think one time I passed Shashimani too. I'm not sure, and I saw a lot of them as well. So all those dates back from 1930s or to 37. Yeah. Okay. Now, I was trying to dig into because this time of 1930s is when Marcos Garvey was on was doing what he was doing. So I was trying to see if there's any connection, but I did not. I don't know. Do you know anything about that?
What is that?
Marcos Garvey, and this time, what was he doing anything or about this?
Well,
Because
so from what I understand, Marcus Garvey was organized a lot in the 1920s and 30s. As a matter of fact, many of the members of Marcus Garvey's organization became members of the Ethiopian World Federation.
okay.
And Marcus Garvey did a lot of organizing, and it was really good and effective, but I think it came to a point where it stopped. It could only go so far because it did not have any official government backing. So the Ethiopian World Federation had official government backing from the Ethiopian government of Haile Selassie, right?
Yes.
Which was a member of the United Nations. And, you know, the other world, the world community, you know, as far as governmental organizations are concerned. I don't believe Marcus Garvey's organization ever got that status as an official governmental organization.
Yeah, that's true.
And so his organization could only take black people so far. So because it didn't have that backing, because the Ethiopian World Federation was directly connected to the Ethiopian government, it had official backing. And so, and that's what black people who in the West who were looking for, you know, to return to Africa, a connection to Africa that was official. That's what brought them to the Ethiopian World Federation, you know? Yeah, because it had that official status. Do you see if Brother Eugene tried to come on?
No.
I saw him put a message in the chat.
He's watching on YouTube, but he's not trying to come on.
Okay.
He's just watching on YouTube.
Okay. If he can hear me, I got in because I tuned into April 29th text. Now, the link that went out today to join will not allow you to join. So, Brother Eugene, if you are listening, if you go to last week's login, you'll be able to chime in on the evmux.com system.
The link does not change. So the link from last week and the link for next week is all the same.
Right. So go to last week's link, Brother Eugene, if you're listening, and you can tune in that way. That's how I was able to tune in. The link for today, I was not able to use to tune in. So I was able to tune in from listening to last week's, from checking out last week's. But so that you know, is very significant as far as, you know, organizing the people.
Yeah, so do you think, because I know there is always some political things going on, and so do you what is the responsibility of black people when it comes to like such events like this to be recognized as the contributor? What do you think black people should do especially in America? What do you think they should be doing? Because if you guys are not being recognized in a place where you're supposed to be recognized, what do you supposed to do?
You know, I think black people have to become more educated and literate. You know, on many fronts: health, history, you know, government, economics, you know, and once black people become more literate, then black people will become more, more involved, you know, become more active in their, and more responsible
So, for instance, I think if I'm not mistaken, I was checking on Facebook, and I found out that in U.S. Embassy of Ethiopia in Washington, they were celebrating something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but I can check on the. So why, if they know they are not being recognized on the effort, why don't they go there and at least ask like, hey, this is part of us. This is ours. We are part of this. And by the way, it's not bad. By the way, there's no one side it's gonna be hard on this at all. It's just that if black people, because black people in America, they don't have anywhere to go when it comes to like the country. I was talking last time about African Union. African Union is supposed to be the forefront of black people in diaspora, because Pan-Africanism started by diaspora people. It's not an African idea, you know that, right? It is absolutely not African idea. You just steal it. But black people still, especially in America, they still don't have a government that can represent them. You guys, you don't have any government that can represent you. You don't. That's why even your it's called a reparation. Your reparation is not gonna work, because who is gonna fight for you? So the African Union does not have a space for you guys, because Haiti trying to join African Union and then they refuse to let Haiti in African Union. So I was saying, like, there are like African American people, as you saw in Harlem, here on my paper here, you can see that people are registering, trying to get inside to volunteer, to go to fight for Ethiopia. And that means they were creating the sense of belonging, and that belonging is also physical, and like where you belong to. That's why, for instance, your name is Alula, is the sense of belonging. If your name was like Johnson or Smith or whatever it is, so you don't have anywhere you belong to. Now you belong to white people, maybe family. But now if you say you are Alula, everyone will know, okay, this is where he belongs to. And if that is the case, why don't black people themselves claim their belonging as based on what they have done for the country, especially Ethiopia? And of course, I think that Ghana is giving citizen to black people. For them, they are giving citizen because black people, maybe some of them maybe originate from Ghana. I don't know if it's all of them, but some of them. So why don't black people in America, why don't they claim their identity? That's what I'm trying to say. Why don't you guys ask, what, like, at least like, hey guys, you're forgetting about us?
Well, I won't try to speak for all black people in America. And first of all, and second of all, you showed earlier in your introduction some works by Dr. Ivan Van Sertimer, who whose work showed that blacks have been in America long before Columbus, and so and there are a lot of other studies that show that black people are indigenous to this country also. So once black people stop trying to when black people so it goes back to what I said about education, and being literate, so black people are indigenous to America. And so I heard you say blacks in America don't have anywhere to go. That could be perhaps because they're already home. You understand? They're indigenous to this country. Not not the Aborigines,
Yeah.
but the indigenous people to the land. And so, black people can be already home. You understand? And and if you go around the world, you will find black populations in every country: China, Russia, Afghanistan, India, Indonesia, the continent of Africa, and all throughout the so-called Americas. You will find black populations that have long existed before the so-called slave trade that their history shows brought all of this black people to the Western world. So, once you understand that, these conversations won't be brought up at the dinner table, so to speak, much.
Mhm. So you mean that maybe black people should not really focus much because they are already at home, maybe. By the way, that's true. I was searching, what was his name? Musa servant or helper. He was sent to American continent before even Columbus so-called discovering America. So we have evidence now that they were already people on American continent. Black people were already on those Haiti countries, San Domingo, wherever it is. There were already black people there. That is as a fact, because it's impossible anyways for black people to not be there at all, because obviously it's impossible. But so you think that maybe so you guys should leave that Africa alone and then just deal with America?
I think everyone has the right to decide who they want to be, where they want to be, and how they want to be. And once people like you stop putting, or people like whoever stop putting limits on people, then the race or the people can go much further.
What do you mean I'm putting limits on people? I don't put any limits. I don't have power. What kind of limits I'm putting on? For me, it's my opinion, though. I think that this is obviously my opinion. I think that all black people should start to come to Africa until when Africa is united. It's my opinion, though. Why? Because obviously it does not give you good chance to. It's just like, for instance, if you want to come to Africa, you're gonna have to choose Tanzania, or you're gonna have to choose Gambia, or you're gonna have to choose Senegal, or you're gonna have to choose Ghana. Why do you choose a small piece? Because obviously you come maybe from Angola.
But wait, where did you choose?
Who, me?
Yeah,
Me,
when you went to Africa 2 years ago, where did you choose? Was it
me,
Tanzania? Was it Gambia?
I
What?
actually did not choose like that
No.
because
You chose. You chose. You bought a ticket. You were in America, in Washington, D.C., living,
uh
making a living, working, driving, and then you chose to leave your country. Why didn't you choose Tanzania or any of those countries you just mentioned? You chose. Where did you choose?
well, I think I had
Just where are you now? Where are you now?
I'm in Ethiopia, definitely.
Okay, so why did you choose Ethiopia?
Because there was two options in my table. One was Nigeria and Ethiopia. For me, based on my work, which is to advocate Kiswahili. So I look into countries that have big population. That is the reason why I choose Ethiopia. So Ethiopia and Nigeria, those are still even today. They are on my table. Those are the two countries. I believe once we accomplish those, maybe the agenda will be more easier to the rest of African will be able to follow easier. That is the reason why I choose. So the reason which I choose is not based on basically on where I choose. It's just based on what I was doing. For instance, if I would go to Kenya, that means there is already Swahili there. It's like you trying to go to to build the streets or highways where it's already been built. So if I go to Tanzania, same thing. Or if I go to South Africa, same thing. If I go to
But it's not
Ghana,
the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, it would be, because in South Africa, Swahili is growing very good. So it's
I don't
almost.
know. I mean, South Africans are very xenophobic.
Well, I think that is brainwashed. I don't know who wrote the book called Brainwashed, or Miseducated Negro, and the Brainwashed. So it's brainwashed. It's something that we have to fight psychologically. Is a problem, as you can see, even in America, sometimes take place in some people's mind, but it's not all South African people who are like that. Of course, we lost we have lost so many businesses, by the way. Tanzanian business, Nigerian business, Ethiopian business, Somalian business. People who own business in South Africa often the business are destroyed. And I always tell people, last time I was talking to someone from Somalia here, who was in South Africa. Actually, he get cut by those people you call xenophobic, and I told him that the reason why this is happening is because we African, we say we have liberated South Africa, but we did not. We didn't. So because if we have liberated South Africa, how can the land, 80% of the land in South Africa, be in hands of less than 7% white people? We didn't liberate them. We liberate them by just singing and saying we end apartheid, but apartheid is still going on in South Africa in some degree, not like the other one. This one is a little different because there is hotels where black people cannot go to. There is a swimming pool where black people cannot go to. There is a cities where black people cannot go to. So we did not liberate them. That's why they are coming and stealing or destroying our shops in South Africa, because white men has guns. We Nigerian shop don't have a gun. So if you are hungry, where are you gonna go to steal? You go to steal where you're not gonna get shot. That's why you see them doing that. But also there's some movements I saw that are anti-black people in South Africa. And when I found out who's financing those movements are white people. So we can just, of course we have to recognize that there is some people in South Africa who don't like black people. That's true. So anyways, that being said, I think the program today we are discussing about Ethiopian Victory, Ethiopian Patriots Victory Day, which is the day that is celebrated here in Ethiopia on May 25th, on May 5th. May the 5th each year, and this past Friday was a second anniversary of Ethiopian Patriots Day, which took place here in Addis Ababa, and we are looking, or we are focusing on how that maybe how that happened, and the contribution of people. People who are not Ethiopian, their contribution or their hand to Ethiopia, and so on. That's pretty much what we are talking about here, because obviously, if we don't cover the whole thing, apparently in the future maybe another problem. You know, I know if Ethiopian or Nigerian fight each other, that's absolutely you cannot take side as someone who is not from around here. But if, for instance, if one country fighting another country, there is no way you can take side. Or for one ethnic fighting another ethnic, one region fighting another region inside Africa, there is no way to take side. But if someone like a country that is not in Africa come to fight in Africa, fight a country, people of African descendants should be on front line to fight and to defend that country, which is, it have happened a couple times, but sometimes, you know, those people don't come and do something, because obviously black people all over the world, I call them diaspora, but this is not a good word. Let me say black people who are born out of Africa, because diaspora is a very bad word, actually. I was searching the definition of diaspora. Diaspora it means something totally not good. So if something like that happen, black people should always stand up and fight for Africa, because one,
overcome Ethiopia. So that is what I call Ethiopia.
I hear myself. Who is that? Can you mute yourself? Okay. Yeah. So that the reason is being because diaspora or black people outside of Africa, they are the one who have much of resources when it comes to the money. Africa, we have natural resources or low. What is the low? Whatever it is. Resources, just natural resources. That we don't have money, and the system we are working on now, most of the time you need money in order to do anything. But if you look like black people in America, how much income they have each year, it's a lot of money that can build more than like 5 or 7 countries in Africa. The budget they have each year is more than the budget that 7 or 6 countries can use. The budget is 6 or 7 countries in Africa use. So that means they are the richest part of our race as black people we have. So if there is anyone who want to mess with Africa, we as African, we always know that someone is gonna fight for us, and that one is diaspora. Of course, we haven't seen anything come from black people in Brazil. At all, which is the first and the biggest country with a big black nation outside of Africa, but other countries like Trinidad, like Guyana, like Jamaica, Haiti, United States of America, Europe countries, we have even Canada as well. We have so a lot of things comes from them. Even now, Turkey, black people in Turkey, in Russia, everywhere they are doing some contribution to contribute to the existence and the protection, the sovereignty of Africa in general. So, and when talk about like Jamaica or United States of America and Haiti and Trinidad and those Guyana, Dominican or so on, those are the ones who give us a Pan-Africanism. I don't like to use Pan-African. Let me use the African nationalists. But if those who don't know, when I say Pan-Africanism, when I say African nationalists or black nationalists, it means Pan-Africanism. That we all black people, we belong to one family, and we should try our best to improve our lives and protect each other and unite as well. So they give it to us the ideology, and then African people will take that and we try to implement it, but we messed it up. We destroyed Pan-Africanism, by the way. African people, we destroyed Pan-Africanism. We did. The intent of Pan-Africanism, it was destroyed, which was rest first. Rest first means that only we who are suffering supposed to be able to look into our best interests first, but it has changed. Now there is Arabs, there is white people, there is Elon Musk also can possibly claim now that he's African since he's born in Africa, or the Prime Minister of England, he can say that too because he's born from Kenya. So we destroyed, in other words, Pan-Africanism from the idea of Marcus Garvey, who was the high priest of Pan-Africanism. So, anyways, that being said, I think I don't think I have a lot to say on this program today. I was just trying to highlight about Patriots Victory Day, Ethiopian Patriots Victory Day, which is a day that we remember every time, but also to go over the Pan-African calendar, which this one we do that every day. I try my best, in fact, to even share Pan-African calendar with my media, my social media platforms. I try to share Pan-African calendar so that we know what is going on and who we lost and why. And also I ask people to suggest if there's anyone that I believe that we should add on Pan-African calendar. I always tell people to suggest so or to do so, so that we don't leave anyone behind as someone who fight for us. But on my Pan-African calendar, Du Bois is not there, Mandela is not there, and some other people, because I personally found out that some of those people, they were, even though they done something, but also in other hands they did something very crazy. Special Du Bois, who actually was the reason why Marcus Garvey ended up in jail with his black bullet, and created some other crazy stuff over there. But also I want to make sure that people understand the Pan-Africanism is not socialism. Okay, it's not, but also it's not capitalism either. It's Africanism, because a lot of people, when you say Pan-Africanism, based on like Kwame Nkrumah, Kwame Ture, and Du Bois, the people call him Pan-African. I don't, and maybe some of even Mandela and some other people, pretty much, you found them to fall under communism or socialism, one of those two, but. That is absolutely not what it is. Pan-African. Pan-Africanism is just the idea that Africa must unite and we must be liberated from anyone who is sucking our natural resources from Africa without paying any penny of it. Dr. Eugene, he said that the word fact, ADOS, African American now, they net GDP is in US dollar as being the most worth African people in the world won't allow themselves to use and abuse nobody. Yeah, so yeah, definitely, yeah, of course. African American people, they are the most of high income black people in the world, you know. So if that is the case, you know, like, of course, as who was saying, like, black people don't employ black people, black millionaire don't employ black people, but every race employ their own people. So yeah, we know that if you collect the money, Denzel Washington have, all those basketball players have, those movie actors have, Will Smith and so on. What is her name? Oprah Winfrey and so on. All those TD Jakes and you put all the money they have together, you absolutely can build maybe Wakanda City in less than 5 months. You know, they have a lot of money. Definitely, we have black people who have a lot of money, but the money they have is, you're not gonna see that helping black people at all. It's just the money. Who know how they get it? That's how they use it. So it's but when the money is being frozen, like what was his name? What is his name? Jay-Z? Yeah, I think it's Kanye West. When his money was frozen, then he started to make noise, you know. But we never see the money. We as African people, we don't see that. It does not go in our how do you call that, ghettos, slums in Africa or even in America where the black people are suffering. It doesn't go there. The money is not going there. So that's one of the problems we have. But anyways, that being said, I don't know, Mr. Alula, do you have any comment you want to add on the show before I close?
Well, my friend, I just thank you for this platform. I thank you for the information that you bring, and you know, your keen eye. You know, since you moved back to Africa from America, from Washington D.C., I just want to congratulate you on all of the positive work that you're doing over there, and just keep it up, man, because we need boots on the ground, and you know, who recognize that, wait a minute, we're celebrating Patriots Day over here, and black people from America and Harlem and all over the world, you know, contributed to the war effort, to the liberation, to keeping Ethiopia free, because they ultimately knew that the race and the entire race, integrity of the entire race, was at stake here. And so that's why they organized and centralized. But the Ethiopian government, is celebrating this great day for the entire race, and trying to make it seem like they're minimizing something that was really affected the whole race, not just Ethiopians at home in Ethiopia, but the entire Ethiopian black race. And they're not recognizing how big, maybe because they don't realize, or for whatever reason, they're not recognizing and acknowledging how, the contributions of Ethiopians all over the world who contributed to the Ethiopian Patriots Day, they're not recognizing it. And it's good that we have, watchful eyes on the ground in Ethiopia who can make people see what's really going on and give another perspective. Even European people were involved in Ethiopian Liberation Day, May 5th, 1941. Even European people, the British, were involved in Ethiopian Liberation Day, which is now what we call Patriots. Patriots Day is honoring the patriots, the Ethiopians who died at home, who died at the hands of the Italian aggressor, the fascist aggressors. I don't know if you visited the burial grounds for the Ethiopian Patriots in Addis Ababa. If you haven't, you should. It's right there in Addis Ababa. You can go to where I forget the name of the cemetery and the grounds where the Ethiopian Patriots are buried. It's like Arlington in Washington. There's an Ethiopian Patriots burial ground over there. Patriots Day honors the Ethiopians who died at home. And this is not to take anything for the Patriots and their bravery, but we want to acknowledge all who was involved in the war effort and in the freedom and the liberation and the taking back of Ethiopia out of the hands of the aggressors who occupied the land for 5 years. So, that's just it. It has to be told on a wide scale, and everyone must be included, because it was more than that. Dr. Richard Pankhurst, look him up. You've heard of him, right?
No.
Okay, well, I'm giving you some homework. Look up Dr. Richard Pankhurst. He was a British man he actually died in Ethiopia not so long ago, if I'm correct. His son's name is Alula. His wife was also an Ethiopian patriot. Well, not Ethiopian, but they were given citizenship, and they did a lot to aid Ethiopia during the war. They were British. They were British people. His wife actually fought for, women's rights, union rights, and stuff like that back in London, back in England. So, yeah, look up Dr. Richard Pankhurst. He played a big effort.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I found
just to
him.
close
Yeah.
off. Yeah, go and do some research on it. Yeah, go and do some research
Yeah,
on
I saw
Dr.
that.
Yeah, so yeah, there was a lot of people who were involved, who were involved in the war effort. But Patriot Day honors the patriots who died at home, and I can understand that. But on a bigger scale, the war effort it was a world war, remember? So
Yeah, definitely.
it involved a lot of people. As a matter of fact, the day Ethiopia was liberated in 1941 was the day World War II started in Europe.
Mhm.
So it was,
Okay, so yeah, you
it's a
see,
nice history. Yeah, it's a nice stuff to know.
Yeah, definitely. So the European were already
Oh yeah,
uh,
Dr. Richard Pankhurst passes away at 90. Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, he died in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Actually,
yeah,
as you
yeah,
can see that. Yeah.
yeah. I was
Okay.
at his house years ago. We were on the committee, on the Magdala Treasures Committee, and that was the committee organized to bring home Ethiopian artifacts that were looted throughout the years, the Magdala treasures from
Mm-hmm.
and other. So now we see Ethiopian treasures coming home from Europe, from
Mm-hmm.
England, from Italy, from all over the world. Dr. Richard Pankhurst sat on, he was one of the main organizers. Yeah, and I actually sat on the committee too with Dr. Richard Pankhurst, along with Ras Tagasa King, who's in Addis Ababa. Okay, yeah, to bring home these artifacts. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on out there. I remember last year some treasures came home, and
Yeah.
the the Ethiopian embassy in uh in England
Mm-hmm.
put on their Instagram page acknowledging the return of some of the treasures to
Mm-hmm.
Ethiopia. And you see that going on all over Africa also. Treasures going back to Benin, treasures going back to different countries all over Africa from Europe. But with the ones that came home to Ethiopia, we see that the Ethiopian embassy in Britain put uh, on their Instagram displays of treasures that were returned home. But they didn't even mention Dr. Pankhurst. They didn't mention the Ethiopian World Federation. They didn't mention me or Ras Tagasa King, who sat on that committee. And when I commented on their page, then they said, oh, yeah, we like to thank Dr. Pankhurst, Dr. Richard Pankhurst for his effort and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, people have short memories. That's why we're on the ground so that we can make people remember. You forgot to talk about Harlem.
Yeah.
You forgot to talk about, so and so. Yeah. Yeah. Because, short memories exist.
Yeah. So is and by the way, this is not a part of like people may don't like or the hate or something. It's just they don't come to understand. Especially some people they are young. They don't know what's happened. Some of these things happened quite minutes ago, so they don't know exactly. So they cannot absolutely remember some of the stuff. So that's why we definitely have to remind them. But yeah, so Dr. Richard, he actually wrote a lot of books as well. I never
Oh,
see
yeah.
this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. So
yeah,
yeah, you're over there, man. You're over in the cradle, and I know you have your hands full with a lot of stuff. You know, your the work there for Swahili in Africa, and you know, you started your family and everything going on. But you're in the cradle, so we can talk offline, and I can say, hey, go get this information here. Go look up so and so. You know,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, definitely. That would be a very good idea. Because it seems like you know already a lot of information. And Eugene says special shout out to brother Julius Malema, go South Africa, economic freedom fighter. It is the way. So yeah, yeah, that is Eugene. He also sent another comment. He is special shout out to Dr. Maulana, Minister of Future Accra, Ghana. Yeah, that's Maulana. I don't know if you saw him. He's doing repatriation for Black people in in Ghana. But I think he also say maybe he want to go a little further. So yeah. And what is the other one? Big shout out to His Highest Victor Obona, Ambassador Ido, Nigerian Embassy, Washington D.C. Yeah. So you see, so we have a lot going on. I think this time Africa is gonna be liberated. I have a lot of hope. I have a to see if we can have one government maybe, or one passport maybe, or something like that in those lines, because obviously we cannot protect anything in Africa because we fail to unite. So anyhow, so maybe I will check on you offline so we can have a little discussion. I think I'm gonna have to end this program. It's getting too late here.
Yeah.
You too, it's getting a little late. I appreciate for you to show up to the show. I will be back on next Saturday at the same time, 6 p.m. on Eastern US time, 6 p.m. Saturday, where here is in midnight, and also Sunday at 8 p.m. in East Africa time, in Kiswahili most of the time. You can also follow us on our social media. We have Swahili for Africa YouTube channel and Instagram and Telegram, but also Ethiopian Swahili community as well on Instagram, Telegram, TikTok, and YouTube as well. Now we are working on to bring to you Patreon, so that if there is any contribution maybe someone may want to give, they can give those to us through Patreon and PayPal as well. But also we want to put Swahili classes online. We are working together with Testify Academy, is a school, online school, to put courses, Swahili courses there. It's gonna be Swahili Amharic courses and Swahili English courses, so people can choose in those two options. We are in the future looking to see how we can put them there in also French as well, because Ethiopian Swahili community is a community of a lot of languages we have here. We have French, we have English, we have Portuguese as well, and Spanish too, and other languages, local languages such like Amharic and Lingala and Luganda and so on. So we are trying to put all those together so people who want to learn Swahili, they will have a lot of options to learn the Swahili language. But not only that, the other announcement is that we are organizing One Africa Expo. I think it's a good idea I share this as well. One Africa Expo is going to take place in Addis Ababa on African Liberation Day, One Africa Expo 2023. So it's gonna be between May 22nd all the way to May 27th is 1 week expo, which is gonna be there is already a lot of presidents who have agreed to come to One Africa, not American there, One Africa Expo, who are agreed to come to this expo. So I want to share this with you guys. Maybe you can see that, and on that event we're gonna have a lot going on. There's gonna be a lot of discussions, and me, I was given a space to organize Swahili-speaking countries, which is around 11 countries, and to invite them and them to bring those products. As you can see on head here, there is a president of Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix Antoine Tshisekedi. He will be here. There is a special guest like Papasimo Kimbangu. There is Queen Nadia. There is King. Noise. So it's gonna be in different places. There is some in African Union, some in the Science Museum, and it's organized by Ethiopian Addis Ababa City, Government of Ethiopia, and African Union as well. So if anyone have business, they can always come and show the business. Distinguished guests also, there is a Papa Zoma and so on. It's a lot of things, but all this is on One Africa Expo website. So if people are interested to come to to this expo, they are welcome. Now, another thing is that Dr. Umar Johnson, he's gonna be coming to African Liberation Day as well. He's gonna be he's invited by Minister of Institute of Foreign Affairs here in Ethiopia, where he's gonna have a lecture or a panel discussion with people of Ethiopia and anyone who wants, but most of the time it's gonna start with people from government and then people from citizens as well. He would have a chance to talk to the citizens. I think that's all I have for you guys as an announcement. I wish you a nice weekend. May God bless Africa. God bless all her children anywhere they are. I will see you on next one, which is next Saturday. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on all social media, even on Telegram as well. Thank you. Alula.
Okay, my brother.
All right. I wish you a wonderful night. Bye.
Okay, brother. Keep in touch. All right.
All right.
All right, brother. Thanks. And let everybody know they can get the African sea moss from me, imported from Zanzibar in Tanzania.
Mm-hmm.
They can get the African sea moss, the purple sea moss, the full spectrum sea moss from me on, check me out on Instagram at Tamarind Trading Services or Humble Lion Incense. Check me out at Humble Lion Incense or Tamarind Trading Services for all your African sea moss needs. All right, brother?
Humble Lions?
Humble Lion Incense on Instagram.
Okay, Humble Lion.
Humble Lion Incense.
Okay, incense.
On Instagram. Okay. They can get all that African sea moss from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I see. I saw that. Okay. Okay.
All right.
All right. I appreciate you. Have a nice one.
Okay, brother. All right. All right. Okay. Keep fight the power.
All right. Bye.
One love.
One love. Okay, so that being said, I wish you a wonderful weekend. Have a nice one. Bye-bye.